Welcome back. State lawmakers are looking at a measure that would guarantee 3 days of annual sick leave for hourly workers. NBC7's Wendy Fry joins us now with guests who will outline the social benefits and costs of passing that bill. Wendy.
Should you suck it up and come to work or take a sick day? It's a common question this time of year during the flu season, but many workers don't have a choice. One local lawmaker is trying to change that with a bill that would mandate employers provide a paid sick day, 3 of them in fact. And with me to discuss this proposed legislation is the bill's author, Assemblywoman Lorena Gonzalez. Thank you for joining us. And the head of the Neighborhood Market Association, Mark Arabo. Nice to have you. Thank you guys so much. We should mention here that we did invite other stakeholders to attend this, including the California Restaurant Association, the San Diego Regional Chamber of Commerce, and the San Diego Regional Economic Development Corporation, and they all declined to participate in this conversation at this time. Lorena, why don't you give us a very quick breakdown of the bill so our viewers are on the same page as us?
Well, it's fairly simple, and what I'm learning is a lot of people don't realize hourly workers, for the most part, don't have sick days. But what it would require is a worker to be at a location for 90 days before they could utilize any time. But for every 30 hours worked, they would be able to earn an hour that they could put towards a paid sick day, basically, up to 3 days. And now this would be able to be used for the employee themselves if they were sick, or if like one of their children or their parents were sick and they had to take them to the doctor. So it's pretty straightforward. It's very, very contained. This is one of the smallest proposals that anyone has tried in an effort to actually advance the cause.
And your data in researching for this bill shows 3/4 of food service workers and child care center providers don't have any paid sick days. And, you know, restaurant workers, they are definitely touching our food, working with us, breathing on us when we're eating. And so what you think this will have a public health benefit?
Absolutely. You know, there's 6 million Californians that would be affected by this law. And if we look at the sectors in which they work, it is things like retail and restaurant, childcare, and nursing homes. And so you can imagine those are exactly the kind of people who are in touch with people every single day. And many of whom will tell you, I just can't take a day off because I won't be able to pay the bills. And so they'll go to work sick, and often that, and especially in this flu season, we know what a problem that can cause. But you know what else we found, which is really interesting, is if a parent can take a sick day to take their child to the doctor, we can save close to $1 billion in emergency room costs in the United States. And right now, when we're going under a kind of new form of healthcare, where we're all collectively pitching in to expand healthcare, especially for low-wage workers, the cost savings that we could just achieve as far as emergency room care, 1.3 million visits to the emergency room could be avoided if people could just see their primary care doctor during normal hours.
Right, and you get that figure from, I'm sure a lot of parents have been there before. You'd rather go to the urgent care on a Sunday night rather than miss Monday morning meeting.
Absolutely.
Now, Mark, you represent small businesses, specifically retailers, and you want a small business exemption for this bill.
Well, first and foremost, I want to applaud Assemblywoman Gonzalez for taking on the hard issues that affect Californians every day. And our association, 2,400 family-owned markets, 31,000 employees, they're all part of our family. And we like the bill. We're asking for an exemption similar to Obamacare, because there's too many corporations that are guided by a balance sheet and a profit loss statement that think about their the share of their stock as opposed to the families that they represent as employees. Our members currently do what Assemblywoman is requesting, and the ones that don't just can't afford it.
What is the threshold that you're talking about for small business? Are you talking 20 employees,
Sure.
5, how many?
You know, the Obamacare, I think, is really vetted. He does 50. But we're open to negotiations, and we're big fans of Assemblywoman Gonzalez. Actually, yesterday we recognized her.
We'll get to that just at the very end, but what do you think about 50? That's almost every restaurant in town, right?
That would, I think, be a little bit large, but what we've said all along is we're not going to base this on rhetoric. We're going to base it on reality. And I have a good relationship with some small business groups like the Neighborhood Market Association, where we can sit down and really talk about the best way to approach this. Now, it's been passed in Connecticut. They have a small business exemption. San Francisco does not, and it's been passed there and been implemented there. New York has just changed the numbers on their small business exemption. So I think it's a discussion that we know we have to have, and some tough negotiations. And I think it's great when you're negotiating with friends, but we're gonna do what we can to move this bill forward.
Mark, last word. Are you worried that this is going to be a jobs killer for your organization members?
I mean, we don't think it'll be a jobs killer. We think that, you know, every one of our employees is part of our family. We know when you're a small business, you're doing it for your employees, for your community. We know our employees' names, our kids' names, our soccer practice times, our basketball practice times. And California needs a bill like this. We're just looking for small business to get a little help in times that we need it the most. And like I like to say, we recognize Lorena as one of our public officials of the year this year, actually earlier this week. So she does incredible things. We're on board. Let's hopefully get an exemption and move forward.
Mark Arabo from the Neighborhood Business Association, or Assemblywoman Lorena Gonzalez, thank you both so much for joining us. And Jean, we'll send it back to you.
Thanks, everybody. And still ahead in the home stretch of Politically Speaking, when it comes to paying